Hello, hello, hello. Another plat push. Let's go. Hey guys, so we're back this week with another plat push. I'm gonna go through the clip and the recording. I wasn't on perfect plat push, but I did beat my personal best of 115 to 109. Anti has a really strong account. First of all, I want to point out that the team that I'm using is quite fairly rarely new team to me, so I'm still trying to learn the strengths and weaknesses of it. There's definitely a lot to work out with this team still, and I also need to build a warlord counter, or like a faster team of warlord, because there is a lot of warlords this week. So obviously I'm avoiding warlords. As you can see, we're going for go second teams, which are strong and powerful. A couple of regulars as well, so we're going to hit a quick refresh because we know we dropped down and stuff. We are losing Leo next week, or when I decide to push again on this account. I do want to come in with the Trunda +4. It's just because I woke up very late, I didn't have time to tune the HP stats of the +4 Trunda between the champions, which we'll play with next week. But here, as you can see, clean hit, and then we're really unlucky there. And then yeah, should have A1'd here with Yoshi, but waiting made a mistake there, and it cost me a lot of time. As you'll see, it was able to do its job and keep me stored a bit longer. Lots of caddies this week, as there's no surprise. Surprisingly, a lot of people running teams without Reviver this week, and which was really surprising as well. It was really interesting to see that. A lot of protection sets as well this week. I think I ran into a double protection team, as you'll probably see shortly. So that's the first win. We're 30 minutes in, it's a bit long. But ideally want quick fights and stuff like that. I think we lost 2 this week on offense. There was 1 within the 15 minutes, and then it's just because Kaima was lucky to strip me. I mean, that's RNG, right? And then I just exited that battle straight away. And then I got stalled in the last attack, which probably would have pushed me towards the top 100, sadly. So overall, not a bad experience this team, seeing it was the first time finishing plat with it. It's a fairly unique team. You do feel that Yoshi doesn't have his real multipliers here within his team, with the passive and stuff like that. I think this is why Trunda would actually be better in this style of team, because Trunda just has raw damage. You don't need that setup with the Killable, and I think with the protection from Necrid that you should be able to stay alive most of the time. I do know there's a 1 or 2 roses that can penetrate that, and candies as well with the R1 still. So we're just checking out the leaderboards, we're checking out how many times we've been hit. I don't actually have the defense log this week. It wasn't very accurate because I forgot to record it within the recording, but it looked like we did fairly well. But I can't be super honest with it. So we get slept with Kaima there again, which puts me with disadvantage because I'm missing the attack up, I'm missing the accuracy up. So we're always going in with Leo's A3 first, and then A2. 1, so we don't get CC'd, and 2, because of reaction. So I do need to make sure I pay attention better to them, because in some of my battles I was just using the A3 first, and if they've already took a turn, it might be better to use the A2 first. As you can see, we're getting plenty of turns. 45 seconds here, hit and miss really. Which is not fairly too bad how high we are in plat right now. Bad Bunny 2.0, okay. So you can see we've got some fairly ones. I've seen that Warlord team already, which I lost to earlier. Just really fast warlord in immunity. I haven't fairly been not that long. So we got the Rhodos here, and Boris is pretty dangerous to his team, but we didn't really have any problems against this Rhodos. We was lucky enough to strip. I have noticed double revive teams is fairly good against his team, especially within the first 2 A&Es are done. You're kind of in trouble, but we get him down there, and you'll see later on what I mean with the double revive. So that was a guy from Imperial who we hit. I think there is one coming up from Mad that we got stalled against for like 2 minutes, which was a bit annoying. We have Macabre here, we have a couple of Macabres this week. A bit dangerous to the Cubitus setup, that's why a lot of people are running him. I don't think we have a Cubitus in this account, but either way we're looking fairly okay here. I think that's why there's also a lot of protection this week with the Cubitus setup. So we get fairly good nuke there. We're going to take out Candy, so Duchess, so they can't revive again. We're just taking out the biggest threat really. We have got 2 nukes here. We are going to be careful of Macabre because he's just dangerous with that block revive passive. We take him out with 42 seconds, pretty respectful. So yeah, and then we got another one here. We was like, okay, we'll take this out, double revive as well. So a lot of people are running a really fast protection Cephis, and she's slowly and surely come back into the meta. I kind of like it when people do all the turns, because then reaction's gone. And this is where I could have used A2 maybe first, but I used A3 again. Really, I should have used A2 there, because I probably would have took them all out except from the Cephi. I think this week wasn't a bad performance. I was just a bit slow at choosing the teams if I had to criticise myself, and there's 1 or 2 bits and bobs just in the replays that I could have done better, and obviously not picked a stall team like I did, but it was a team that I was going up quite a lot. So we choose not to attack the Cubitus because we know how awkward he can be on defense, and I just didn't want to go up against it, or avoiding all the warlords as possible because I didn't want to get locked out. There's a couple of wins on defense there. If we just go back to the defense, we can see it. Okay, if we could pause that. So we got, well, it looks like it's 1 there. Okay, so only Shitstorm hit me and Sent as well. I think others didn't actually hit me that much. So we're looking. I didn't want to take on the Valkyrie, to be honest, to mess up my turn meter, because I was thinking all the buffs that we're going to put out, we are going to really set off her turn meter. So as you can see, Kaimar was lucky enough to strip me, and then Leo was taken out by Rhodos, which is the dangerous bit about Rhodos. Anyway, if it didn't matter what nuker that was, he probably would have took us out anyway after that strip. Lots of stone skin here, really fast. I think he again outrunning her reaction, right? So this is why I build my defenses slow and tanky. Surprisingly, on this team that we've got all in stone skin, there's not a lot of stats required for this team, and we'll go through the build shortly. You might have seen this team around before. Obviously I've changed up a little bit. I've used a Manon series that was just in the vault, right? I could have used Drexstar, Blood Twin, I could have used this other Manon series, but we used a Manon series that wasn't being used. We used Yoshi, who wasn't being used, who was also in his vault. A side note for this team is If we're going to use a Trundle, I'd probably come in with a shield set with Necrid, and if you're going to use Necrid on defense but not on offense, then he's actually better in the protection set in my opinion. Saying this, like, we don't know how this new set's going to come. Mose is one of my viewers on Twitch, so we thought we'd pop him and give his team a little bit of a hit and see what he's like on defense. Again, his team is just fairly fast, in my opinion, just too fast. My team is nice and slowed down to make sure that I can benefit from all the reaction procs going off without me doing anything. And then we got the candy coming through, and then like I did earlier, doing that there should be, we need to start A1 in there so we can make sure we get that kill, because it is a random 2-hit. Candy getting an ace with Perry prop there, which is pretty lucky. That's what we use him for. So overall, he hold it out just under a minute. You'll see that we'll get the finish in a second. There's a stun, or maybe it's just over a minute. It was just over a minute then. 1 minute, 1 second. Not too bad when we're up this high, right? Like when we open the top 100. So we're 124. And we're not too bad. And then this is where I start making the wrong decisions, right? We're in the last 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm looking for teams that attack. We're taking on this one. I was in two minds to take this one on or not. So we have immunity there. We have Stone Skin at Bob. This is a perfect, well-built defense because you can see that there is one protection set there. There is one Stone Skin Duchess who has just not took a turn. Now my Necrid is about 170 speed, and there is the first turn. So this Duchess being really slow just kind of shows you my point of should be slow with Stone Skin and reaction, because when we did our A3 we didn't proc reaction, so even if we was lucky enough to strip Stone Skin, we probably still wouldn't have got killed if there was reaction there. At the moment I'm waiting for her to take a turn. I'm like, when is she going to take a turn? She revives everyone up. We've got 1 minute into the battle. We've got protection proc as well on her, which obviously means I can't strip it, which is more annoying. We are able to take out Candy pretty easily, so the threat of killing us was gone. This team could have killed us if we wasn't able to take out Candy there, so we was a little bit lucky. But yeah, really I should have exited this battle by now, but Grim being Grim is just too stubborn. I was just trying to figure out how to take this team out. Obviously I'm still learning this team, and I just wanted to get Duchess out, and then I pretty much hit auto now and we're done with it. So that was one of my second big flaws, staying in the battle too long. We're 148, and then pretty much in the last 2 minutes I think about taking that out, but then I'm like, the new guy, went up against him a few times last week and he punished me quite hard, so it was like so he could obviously increase accuracy up. Cardio was just really annoying, but there's no revive to this team. This team was really interesting to see. There is look like there is one protection set, maybe possibly even two. I don't know if it's possible to make two protection sets to proc at the same time, but it looks like there is two there, which wouldn't surprise me. And I'm just thinking, like, we need to make sure that revive on death really is procced like straight away. Candy got some good damage as well within his kit, and then yep, so I was able to take him out there, and then they come back and I'm like, oh mamma mia. That's why I use cardio all the time on my defense. And then we're gonna hit him again, and he's gone. 1 minute. So pretty much that is the last battle with that one. I think we had taken on Odd One, which honestly would have been a good idea to take on Odd One, but I just didn't have a Warlord counter, and the Warlord counter was the thing that stopped taking it on. If I had a Kymar or something, I probably would have took him on. Well, I've got Kymars, but I need to build like a Warlord counter to that Warlord's. So we'll probably look at a muted team or something like that with one of his ARBs on this account when we come back for the Warlord teams, because there was definitely a lot of Warlord teams that we could have took on this week. So again, we were just working our way through, doing our thing, and then this is where we got stuck really. It's a straight up stall defense. If you brought in Drexblood here, locked down everyone's passive, this would have been way faster, but we just didn't get the win and on this, and we just wasn't able to break down the passives. It was just annoying. Ursula did her job, Sifi did her job, everyone just generally did her job, and it was a good stall defense. We just didn't have enough damage. If this was a Trunda on this account, then for sure this Trunda would have put him in the ground. So dangerous really going with like a stall defense like this, but it worked. It did its job, and then in the end I just kind of given up and we just timed it out. As you'll see here, we just let it timed out, and then we just went all the way through. So we didn't take the lose last minute and affect the placement. But there it is. There is personal best. 109 in the world. Not too shabby. Here is our builds. We've got Yoshi here. So we've got 442 accuracy on Yoshi. Speed is at 182. Good defense. Reasonable HP. All skills are booked. Masteries are here. So we have Eagle Eye for the extra accuracy. Doesn't really need Eagle Eye, but I thought why not if we can get some benefits from him. And then obviously we got some reaction. I don't care about speed as much, so we're just going for some simple bits and bobs. And I did want to make sure that he was tanky as possible as well. We'll change this out next week for more HP, so we can get the Trunda on the go for this team for sure. And then we have the Necrid, which is all the way up here. So I didn't build this Necrid, it was already built, and I decided to leave it. It's high resistance Necrid, so it is a interesting build, and it's a +1. But overall, fairly good stats. If I had to criticise anything, it probably would be I'd drop the resistance because not enough resistance for Platinum Arena, and I'd come in with more HP and more defense. But overall, a solid Necrid. And then we have got the Man series that I spoke about, who are pulled out of the vault. We have 703 accuracy, good speed, good defense and stuff. And again, 1 reaction piece and then 2 refresh. The refresh is nice. I'm really just looking for accuracy substats really. Again, we'll have to change this up next week. Definitely could pump up more accuracy, but not really needed. So there's 3, and then we got the last one, which is Leo, which is here again. I only changed a few things on this. I made them a bit slower. Critical damage could be a bit better. 6,335 attack, which is pretty nice. Make sure he's got the lowest overall. 2 pieces of refresh as well. And I honestly do like refresh. I think it's a good set. Defense was Ursula, Duchess, and Hedgie, and someone else. Who was it? Oh, and Weather. I think next week I will probably change it up for one of the Sifis, because the Sifis seem to do well. So I think we'll probably go with a Sifi in protection, a really fast one in protection, with a Duchess, a Weather, and a Warlord, or maybe come in with Ursula still. I do like coming in with warlords because it stops a lot of people trying to attack us. I need to check if we took down defense. I didn't. I haven't took it down yet. So as you can see, God's one here, Hawks one here. Sorry, Hawks lost. Trans also lost. And then we got attacked 2 more times. It looks like it did register as a win for me on my defenses. So we got attacked at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and we won 2 out of that. So that's pretty impressive. Guys, let me know down in the comments what you thought of this week of the plat push. Let me know your placement as well. And again, thank you for checking out this video. It's been a pleasure. Hope you enjoy this. Make sure you hit that comment and like button and that subscribe button as well for more weekly content uploaded. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.